Encounter at dusk. In the dimming light of a distant world, nestled on the edge of the galactic frontier, Lena Darrow peered through the vast canopy of her observation outpost. The day had slipped away with her engrossed in her research, cataloging nebula formations and their effects on interspatial communications. This moon, a quiet giant covered in thick jungles and endless mountains, served as the perfect hideaway from the galaxy's chaos, just her, the stars, and her relentless pursuit of knowledge. The outpost was a marvel of human engineering, designed to be unobtrusive, blending seamlessly into the rugged terrain. Its systems hummed in the background, a comforting reminder of human ingenuity in the solitude of space. Lena, with her keen eye for patterns, had chosen this life away from bustling colonies and busy space lanes, seeking peace in the universe's mysteries. As the first stars began to prick the evening sky, Lena's routine was shattered by a sudden spike on her sensors, a reading so off the charts it could only signify something extraordinary. Frowning, she adjusted her monitors, the soft glow casting shadows across her determined face. What on earth could that be? She murmured to herself, her fingers deftly navigating the complex dashboard. The anomaly was approaching fast, too fast to be a natural celestial event. As the object entered the atmosphere, it illuminated the sky with a fiery arc, a comet descending with intentions unknown. Lena grabbed her field pack and scanner, her heart racing with the thrill of the unknown. She rushed outside, securing her goggles as she stared into the burning horizon. The object crashed not far from her location, sending a plume of alien dust and debris high into the air, painting a stark silhouette against the twilight. With no time to hesitate, Lena mounted her rover, the vehicle's lights piercing the encroaching darkness as she set off towards the crash site. Her mind raced with possibilities. Could it be a lost alien artifact, a derelict ship, or something entirely undiscovered? The journey was rough, the terrain unforgiving, but Lena was undeterred. As she approached, the sight that greeted her was beyond anything she'd imagined. It was a ship, undoubtedly alien, its hull glowing faintly with an ethereal light. The design was sleek, unlike any technology she had seen, with surfaces that seemed to shift subtly, reflecting the starlight with an otherworldly grace. Lena approached cautiously, her scanner humming in her hand as it attempted to analyze the alien metallurgy. Suddenly, a moan echoed from the wreckage, stopping her in her tracks. She moved towards the sound, her training as a xenobiologist kicking in, her curiosity now mingled with a deep sense of responsibility. From the shadows of the shattered craft, a figure emerged, tall, humanoid, but clearly not human. Its skin shimmered with a luminescent quality, its eyes reflecting the starlight with an intensity that spoke of a profound intelligence and deep fear. "Help me," the alien uttered in a strained yet melodic voice, collapsing at Lena's feet. Without a second thought, Lena knelt beside the stranger, her scanner flicking to medical diagnostics. "I've got you," she assured, her voice steady, though her mind was a whirlwind of questions. Who was this being? What brought them crashing down to her secluded world? As she administered first aid, the alien spoke of a conflict in the stars, a war that had ravaged their world, sending refugees across the galaxy in search of sanctuary. Lena listened, her mission now clear not just to heal, but to help this visitor find their path in a galaxy where both of their fates might now be irrevocably intertwined. With the alien stable but weak, Lena helped them back to the rover. The stars twinkled above, indifferent to the unfolding drama. As they drove back to the outpost, Lena knew that her world had changed. No longer was she just a researcher of the cosmos. She was now a part of its unfolding story, a guardian of its most vulnerable wanderers. Back at the outpost, she contacted the Galactic Alliance, her voice echoing through the cosmos. "This is Lena Darrow, reporting an extraterrestrial encounter. I have a survivor. We need assistance." As she waited for a response, she looked at her new companion, their gaze meeting in silent acknowledgement of the new journey they had just begun together. This was no longer just a post. It was a beacon of hope on the edge of the unknown. Secrets of the sky. Lena Darrow spent the night pacing the confines of her small, cluttered lab, her mind teeming with 1,000 questions as she glanced periodically at the alien, whom she learned was named Ceres, resting quietly in the makeshift recovery area. Outside, the moon's twin satellites hung low, bathing the landscape in a ghostly hue, their light casting long shadows across the dusty floor of the lab. Lena's outpost, once a silent witness to the cosmos' quiet dance, now throbbed with the pulse of urgent, whispered communications from distant worlds. By dawn, Ceres had stabilized enough to share more about her harrowing journey. Her voice, though weak, carried the weight of lost worlds and cosmic battles that stretched across the universe. She spoke of her planet, Ionis, a jewel of technology and peace, now smoldering under the shadow of an aggressive interstellar empire known as the Krylox Coalition. As Ceres recounted her story, Lena took meticulous notes, her scientist's curiosity blending seamlessly with her growing role as a galactic humanitarian. She learned that Ceres was not merely fleeing from war, but was a custodian of a powerful artifact that could turn tides or broker peace, an object so valuable that the Krylox had decimated continents to capture it. The iron core, Ceres murmured, her luminescent eyes flickering with a mix of fear and resolve. It's not just power, it's our legacy, our knowledge, all encoded within a crystal lattice. I must keep it from falling into the wrong hands. Moved by Ceres's plight and driven by a newfound purpose, Lena resolved to help. Her outpost, equipped with advanced research facilities and cloaked from standard detection technologies, was the perfect place to hide Ceres and study the iron core. Together, they devised a plan to safeguard the artifact, while Lena sent out discreet calls for assistance to her few trusted contacts in the Galactic Alliance. As the two worked, an unspoken bond formed between them, forged in the crucible of cosmic conflict and shared awe for the mysteries of the universe. Lena, ever the scientist, was fascinated by the advanced alien technology and the potential it held for energy and medicine. Ceres, in turn, was impressed by Lena's quick understanding and her compassionate resolve. Their collaboration was tested soon after when a rogue signal was detected approaching the moon. With the outpost's defenses limited to camouflage and electronic countermeasures, the two women prepared for the worst. Lena's hands were steady as she recalibrated sensors to mask their location further, while Ceres set up a series of holographic decoys around the perimeter. As the unknown craft drew closer, its intentions unclear, tension in the outpost mounted. Lena monitored the screens with bated breath, ready to enact a last-ditch plan to evacuate. However, as the ship entered the moon's thin atmosphere, its signals began to align not with the patterns of a Krylox warship, but rather with those of a Galactic Alliance cruiser. With a cautious mix of relief and skepticism, Lena opened a channel, her voice echoing through the outpost. Unidentified vessel, this is Lena Darrow of Outpost Sigma-17. State your purpose. The response came swiftly, a calm and authoritative voice cutting through the static. Outpost Sigma-17, this is Commander Halen of the Galactic Alliance. We received your distress call. We're here to assist. The arrival of the Galactic Alliance brought new resources and a flicker of hope. Commander Halen, a seasoned officer with a stern demeanor softened by kind eyes, met with Lena and Ceres. He assured them of the Alliance's support and discussed plans to counter the Krylox threat. With the Alliance's protection, Lena's outpost turned from a solitary research station into a strategic bulwark, guarding one of the galaxy's most sought-after secrets. In the safety of the reinforced outpost, Lena and Ceres worked with renewed vigor, their efforts now supported by Alliance technology and intelligence. Lena's universe had expanded beyond her wildest dreams, her quiet life transformed into a pivotal fight for the future of the galaxy. And as the twin moons set and the sun rose over her new, tumultuous world, Lena faced the horizon with determination, ready to protect and explore the vast unknown. Alliance of the Stars. The days following the Galactic Alliance's arrival were a whirlwind of activity at Outpost Sigma-17. Under the steely leadership of Commander Halen, and with the expert guidance of Lena and Ceres, the outpost transformed into a hub of strategic defense and scientific advancement. The once quiet hallways and labs buzzed with Alliance officers and scientists, all working towards understanding the Iron Core and fortifying the outpost against any potential Krylox attacks. Lena, usually solitary in her research endeavors, found herself at the center of a collaborative storm. She was tasked with leading the scientific team, which included experts from various corners of the galaxy. Together, they delved into the secrets of the Iron Core, deciphering its complex encryptions and marveling at its potential to revolutionize energy use across the universe. Meanwhile, Ceres worked closely with the military strategists, providing them with crucial information about the Krylox tactics and weaknesses. Her unique insight, gained from years of evading their relentless pursuit, was invaluable in shaping the defense protocols around the outpost. Building bridges in the cosmos. As they worked, Lena learned more about the wider universe, of alliances and conflicts, of cultural diversities, and universal commonalities. The outpost, once a remote and isolated facility, was now a melting pot of ideas and species, a testament to the power of unity against common threats. The bonds formed here, under the shared goal of safeguarding the galaxy, would ripple out across star systems. One evening, as the twin moons rose, painting the landscape in shades of silver and blue, Lena and Ceres took a moment to step away from the chaos. They walked along the perimeter of the outpost, the air crisp and filled with the electric buzz of shield generators. "It's strange," Lena mused, watching a distant satellite pass overhead. "I spent years out here, hoping to find something that mattered, something that could make a difference. I never imagined it would come crashing down from the sky." Ceres smiled, her eyes reflecting the moon's glow. "And I never thought I'd find a human with such compassion and courage. You've turned this outpost into a beacon of hope for me, for all of us." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden alert from the command center. They rushed back, finding the monitoring team gathered around the screens. The sensors had picked up a disturbance in the outer sector, a cloaked vessel attempting to breach the moon's orbit. Tactical engagements. Commander Halen was already coordinating a response. "It's a Krylox scout ship," he announced, his voice steady despite the tension in the room. "They're testing our defenses." With precise and calculated commands, Halen directed the outpost's newly installed defense arrays. Lena watched, heart pounding, as the arrays fired in sequence, cloaking beams of energy that disrupted the scout ship's cloak and forced it into the open. Ceres stood beside Lena, her expression grim. "They're getting desperate," she said quietly. "They wouldn't risk exposing a scout unless they're planning a larger assault," Lena finished for her, the weight of the situation settling in. Together, they turned back to the screens, ready to plan their next move. The outpost defenses held that night, and the scout ship retreated, damaged and exposed. The victory was minor, but it bolstered the spirits of everyone at Sigma-17. They had proven that they could stand up to the Krylox, and they were not alone in this fight. The path forward. In the weeks that followed, Lena and Ceres continued their dual efforts of research and strategy. Their work with the Iron Core led to breakthroughs in energy manipulation and shield technology, directly enhancing the outpost's defenses and providing the Alliance with new tools to use against the Krylox. The outpost had become a symbol of resistance, a place where the best of the galaxy came together to protect their homes and futures. For Lena, it was no longer just about observing the stars. It was about protecting them, ensuring that their light continued to shine on a free and peaceful galaxy. As the outpost grew stronger, so did Lena's resolve. With each new challenge, she adapted and overcame, driven by a duty to her new friends and to the universe that had become her home. The future was uncertain, and the threat of the Krylox loomed large, but Lena faced it all with unwavering determination and hope, her spirit as unbreakable as the bonds she had formed under the endless stars. The shadow over Sigma-17. As the struggle between the Galactic Alliance and the Krylox Coalition deepened, Outpost Sigma-17 became not just a symbol of resistance, but a beacon of innovation, largely due to the groundbreaking work on the Iron Core. Lina Darrow, who had once sought the solitude of the stars for peaceful study, now found herself orchestrating a critical part of a galactic defense initiative. Under her guidance, the outpost's capabilities expanded, turning it into a fortified bastion against the encroaching darkness of war. An unforeseen complication. One morning, as Lina was analyzing the latest energy output data from the core, an urgent message interrupted her focus. Commander Halen, his face tense with concern, relayed news that would once again tilt the balance of their precarious situation. "We've intercepted encrypted transmissions between the Krylox fleet. They've enlisted mercenaries to infiltrate Sigma-17 and capture the core," he reported. The revelation struck a chilling chord. The Krylox, renowned for their relentless brutality, now also proved cunning and resourceful. Lena felt a cold determination settle over her as she met with Ceres and the Alliance leaders to strategize their defense. They decided to strengthen their surveillance and bolster their perimeter defenses, turning the outpost into an impenetrable fortress. Engineering defenses. With Ceres's insights into Krylox technology, Lena spearheaded the development of advanced security protocols. They implemented AI-driven surveillance drones and energy barriers that could adapt to different attack patterns. The outpost's once quiet corridors now hummed with the activity of patrols and strategic planning sessions. One late evening, while testing the new barrier integration, Lena and Ceres observed the skies, aware that each passing moment could bring new dangers. "We're not just defending a piece of technology," Lena reflected aloud. "We're defending hope itself, the chance for peace." Ceres nodded, her expression solemn yet fierce. "And we will protect it with everything we have." The mercenary threat. Their preparations were soon put to the test. Just days after the warning, a stealth craft breached the outer sector of the moon's atmosphere. The outpost's defenses reacted instantly, cloaking the area in a defensive haze, while Lena and the security team set an interception course. The skirmish that ensued was brief but intense. Using non-lethal force, they managed to disable the craft and detain its occupants, mercenaries, just as Halen had warned, armed and prepared to steal the core. During the interrogation, Lena learned that the Krylox had promised the mercenaries riches and amnesty for their services. This knowledge of the enemy's desperation served only to steel her resolve. "They fear what we're building here," she told her team. "Let that fear drive them back." A rallying cry. In the aftermath, Commander Halen called for a gathering of the outpost's personnel. Standing before her colleagues, allies, and newfound friends, Lena delivered a speech that would resonate across the communications channels to other Alliance members throughout the galaxy. "Here at Sigma-17, we stand at the edge of the known galaxy, but at the heart of its future," she began, her voice resolute. "We faced down threats and turned away aggressors not with brute force, but with unity, intellect, and indomitable will." The crowd listened, their morale bolstered by her words. Lena spoke not just as a leader, but as a symbol of the courage and commitment that had brought disparate people and species together in common cause. "We are not merely survivors, we are pioneers, protectors, and peacemakers. Let the Krylox come," she concluded, her gaze sweeping over the assembly. "They will find not just a shield, but a sword of solidarity." Strengthening bonds. As the weeks progressed, the bond between the outpost's inhabitants deepened. Lena and Ceres continued their work, pushing the boundaries of what the Iron Core could help them achieve. The energy it harnessed now powered shields that could protect entire sectors and weapons that could deter the most determined of enemies. Outpost Sigma-17 had become a hardened pillar of the Galactic Alliance, a testament to what could be achieved when species and individuals united for a common good. And while the shadow of the Krylox loomed ever present, the light that Lena, Ceres, and their allies cast was brighter, fueled by the strength of their convictions and the power of their unity. The Siege of Sigma-17. As Outpost Sigma-17's influence and defensive capabilities grew, so did its visibility as a target. The Krylox coalition, now fully aware of the outpost's pivotal role in the Galactic Alliance's strategy, launched a full-scale offensive. This marked the beginning of the Siege of Sigma-17, a critical juncture in the galactic conflict that would test the resolve and resourcefulness of all who called the outpost home. The calm before the storm. In the tense hours before the attack, Lena Darrow oversaw the final preparations to the outpost's defenses. Her team had worked tirelessly, fortifying every possible breach point and enhancing the communication lines to ensure that they could call for reinforcements if needed. The air was thick with anticipation, each member of the outpost aware of the battle that lay ahead. Ceres, who had become not just a collaborator but a close confidant, approached Lena with updates on the latest sensor readings. The Krylox fleet is larger than any scouting party we've encountered. They're not just probing defenses this time, they mean to overwhelm us. Lena nodded, taking in the data with a steady gaze. Then we hold them off long enough for Alliance reinforcements to arrive. We knew this day might come, and we are ready. The first wave. The battle began at dawn, with the first rays of light obscured by the dark silhouettes of Krylox warships descending upon the moon. The outpost's energy shields flared to life, creating a dazzling light show in the sky as they absorbed and deflected the initial barrage of fire. Lena coordinated the defense from the command center, her voice calm but firm over the comms as she directed fire from the outpost's ion cannons. Ceres, meanwhile, manned a critical defense post, her understanding of Krylox tactics allowing her to predict and counter their maneuvers. The outpost shook under the impact of heavy artillery, a stark reminder of the enemy's power. However, Sigma-17 held firm, its shields holding up under the onslaught and its weapons returning fire with precision. A tactical shift. Hours into the siege, the Krylox changed tactics. They launched a ground assault, deploying troops to the surface to penetrate the outpost from the ground. Lena quickly adapted to the new threat, dispatching robotic defense units to intercept the invaders and protect the perimeter. The ground battle was fierce, with both sides suffering losses. Lena watched anxiously as reports came in, her heart heavy for each fallen defender, but lifted by the bravery and tenacity of her team. Each member of the outpost, human and alien alike, fought with a desperate courage, knowing the stakes. The turning point. As the battle raged, an encrypted signal broke through the chaos. Reinforcements from the Galactic Alliance were on their way. Buoyed by this news, Lena rallied her forces, commanding a counter-offensive that pushed the Krylox back step by step. Ceres, leading a squad of elite fighters, managed to capture a Krylox command unit, which provided critical intelligence. With this new information, Lena devised a strategy to exploit a weakness in the Krylox fleet's formation. Unity and resolve. With the Alliance reinforcements visible in the upper atmosphere, Lena's counter-strategy went into effect. The outpost's ion cannons fired in a synchronized pattern, breaking through the Krylox shields and sowing confusion among their ranks. The enemy, realizing the tide had turned, began a disorderly retreat just as Alliance ships broke through the orbital defenses. The siege, though intense, ended with Sigma-17 standing victorious but scarred, a testament to the unity and resolve of its defenders. The outpost was celebrated across the galaxy as a symbol of hope and resistance, its story spreading light in the darkest times. In the aftermath, as repairs began and the fallen were mourned, Lena and Ceres stood together, looking out over the cratered landscape. "We held," Lena said simply, pride and relief intermingling in her voice. Ceres nodded, her eyes on the horizon. "Yes, we held, and we will keep holding, for Ionis, for the Alliance, for peace." Their shared look was one of determination. Sigma-17's victory was not just a battle won, but a promise to the galaxy that as long as they stood together, hope would never be extinguished. Echoes of victory. In the aftermath of the siege of Sigma-17, the outpost not only became a fortified stronghold, but also a beacon of resilience and collaboration across the Galactic Alliance. Lina Darrow, recognized as a strategic genius and a symbol of unity, found herself leading not just her outpost, but also influencing wider Alliance strategy. The victory had been costly, but it had galvanized communities across galaxies to stand up against the Krylox coalition. Rebuilding and reflection. The weeks following the siege were a time of rebuilding and introspection. The physical damage to Sigma-17 was extensive, and crews worked tirelessly to repair the structural and systemic damages. Lina oversaw the reconstruction, ensuring that every upgrade included enhancements based on the lessons learned during the battle. She worked closely with engineers and tech specialists, integrating advanced alien technology that Ceres had helped decipher. As the walls of Sigma-17 were rebuilt, so too were its inhabitants' spirits. Lina organized debriefings not just on tactics and defense, but also on personal experiences and recovery. These sessions helped strengthen the bonds among the outpost's diverse crew, solidifying a communal resilience that transcended species and backgrounds. Strategic paradigm shifts. Meanwhile, Ceres, whose role had been pivotal in the defense, now took on a new responsibility. She began training Alliance leaders in understanding and countering Krylox technology and tactics. Her workshops, based on her harrowing experiences and deep knowledge of her adversaries, became crucial in preparing for future engagements. Lina and Ceres also co-authored a series of protocols and manuals for use across the Alliance, detailing advanced defense strategies and promoting a philosophy of proactive peacekeeping. Their work set new precedents for how battles were fought and won in space. A moment of peace. Amid the ongoing preparations for future conflicts, Lina found it important to foster moments of peace and reflection. She initiated the first of what would become regular cultural exchanges at the outpost. These events showcased the arts, cuisines, and traditions of various Alliance species. For one evening, the corridors of Sigma-17 were filled with music, laughter, and storytelling, transforming the military outpost into a vibrant cultural hub. This initiative not only boosted morale, but also reminded everyone of the rich diversity and potential of peaceful coexistence. It reinforced the idea that they were fighting for more than survival. They were fighting for the rich tapestry of interstellar cultures and the shared future they envisioned. Unforeseen developments. As Sigma-17 grew in prominence, it also became a diplomatic outpost. Delegations from various parts of the galaxy visited, not only to learn from its successes, but also to negotiate support and alliances. Lina found herself at the heart of diplomacy, skillfully navigating the complex politics of the galaxy. During one such delegation visit, an unexpected discovery changed their strategic landscape once again. A peaceful envoy brought news of a potential secret weapon being developed by the Krylox, capable of disrupting the very core of stellar navigation. This revelation forced Lina to shift her focus from consolidation to preemptive action. Mobilizing minds and machines. With a potential new threat on the horizon, Lina mobilized her team to develop countermeasures. She leveraged the outpost's extensive research facilities, turning Sigma-17 into a think tank for defensive technologies. Lina, Ceres, and the team initiated a project named Stellar Shield, aiming to safeguard navigation systems across Allied territories. This project not only illustrated Sigma-17's role as a shield against aggression, but also as a spearhead of innovative resistance strategies. Lina's leadership had transformed the outpost from a remote research facility into a linchpin of galactic defense and diplomacy. Looking to the future, as Sigma-17 prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead, Lina and Ceres stood by the newly installed Stellar View platform, looking out into the universe. They discussed potential future scenarios with a calm determination. "We've come so far," Lina mused, "from a quiet outpost to a central node in the galaxy's defense network." Ceres nodded, her gaze fixed on the stars. "And we will go further still. Together, there's no limit to what we can achieve." Their shared commitment to their cause, bolstered by their victories and the unity they had fostered, prepared them for any future battles. Sigma 17 was ready to defend, inspire, and lead, a true testament to the power of collective action and visionary leadership in the vast, star-studded expanse of space.